Pies were cooked in our house every day. But no one eats it. Because my mother-in-law refused. But one day my Nanad ate that pie. His head began to spin while eating pies. Then he was taken to the hospital. The doctor said that she is pregnant. My Nanad was unmarried. So what was in these pies? That was so much to eat. Then what happened to me? Hearing that will blow your mind. My name is Soma. My family found a match for my marriage right after college. My groom's name is Rakesh. Rakesh was a very simple person. Because we met many times after the relationship, I went to have coffee together. Then we told each other about ourselves. And I love to talk about the post-marriage too. Anyway, that's how the day was going. Our wedding date was fixed. I could not understand where the day began to pass. And after getting married, I became the wife of Rakesh's house. I had a small Nanad Deepa at my in-laws' house. He used to talk to me all day long. Deepa used to do all her small and big tasks to me. And used to share everything with me. Today, Deepa's secondary exam results. So that he passed with good marks. The whole house congratulated him for his success. Mother-in-law asked to cook many kinds of food for her. I made all kinds of sweets. But when I went to make the pies, he said that I will make it. When the pies are done, then the mother-in-law kept that pie separately. And told everyone that no one will eat this pie. I felt very strange. Why can't anyone eat? However, I ignored this as a rule. Because my mother-in-law was a conservative woman. He obeyed the rules very deeply. This is how the day began to pass. One day when I was sitting in my room, Rakesh's phone came. And he said, in the afternoon, some friends will come to our house for dinner. Make some good food for this. I told Rakes what they were coming for. Then Rakesh said that I have actually been promoted. That's why I want to throw a party for my friends. I said, Mom, what do you cook? Because I ask Rakesh every time I cook. This has always been my habit. That I don't ask the grown-ups at home what to cook. When I made something at my father's house, I must have asked my mother and father. And that's why I'm asking you here. Then mother said, make what you think is right, make it. This time I made a lot of food. And then when I started boiling the milk to make the pies, that's when my mother-in-law came there. And said, stop grandma, I will make pies, you do other work. I said that no mother, all the work is almost done. Only pies left to make. Then mother said again, I said I will make it. Then I said that is okay. I then started kneading the dough. Then mother-in-law started making pies and put it in a separate dish. I said, Mom, why did you keep it separate? Then he started saying no, nothing, I left it like that. We will serve it when it cools down. I said okay. After a while Rakesh and his friends came home. I gave them tea and biscuits and talked for a while. Then his friends began to laugh and say, that brother is very hungry. Food is something made or not. Then Rakesh started saying yes, he will serve you food immediately. This time I was very hungry. Then everyone came to the dining table. And I slowly began to bring all the food to the table one by one. When the table I began to take pies. Mother-in-law held my hand and said, don't take the pie. That's when I asked, why not take pies? Then he started to say that I once said that he will not take it. I thought that there is no point in just arguing. That's why I said okay. This time I made something else. I served them all that. All people eat full. This time his friends praised the food a lot. I was also very happy. I worked hard to cook. I was very pleased to hear that everyone loved the food. Anyway, everyone ate and went home. And we went to each house. One day the mother-in-law made pies and put them on the table. At that time, an aunt from the side came. And the mother-in-law started talking to her. And left the pie there on the table and forgot. Just then Deepa came from college. And without coming, he ate that pie without asking. When I saw that Deepa was eating, that's when I tried to stop him. But as long as I get there, by that time Deepa had eaten the pies. My life is like going out now. I do not know what mother will use. I told Deepa, whatever you do, mom doesn't let anyone eat this pie. At least you could have asked before the meal. That's when Deepa started saying, Body, I was so hungry that I thought you made and left here. And even when the pies are made, they are made for food. Why will mother only babble? That's when I said, have you ever eaten pies before today? If you know this today, not so much. Mother never allows to eat pies. And there must be some reason behind it. And that's why he bans. At that time the mother came there. Before she could say something, Deepa's head started spinning. And he fainted. Now I was completely nervous. I had this fear in my heart that something happened to him by eating this pie. This time he was taken to the hospital. There the doctor treated him. When the report came, the ground moved from under our feet after seeing the report. The doctor said that Deepa is going to be a mother. Now as if our situation has worsened. Just thinking, how could that be? Everyone is happy to hear this news. Everyone seemed to think so. How can it be with Deepa? Such an intelligent and reformed girl, how can she do so many wrong things? But I was suspicious of her eating pies more than her reforms. That's what I thought every time mom forbade me to eat pies. And today when Deepa ate the pies, his body began to deteriorate. And he was told everything in the hospital. There was only one thing in my head. My mind was made to hate. Whenever Pesha's name was, then the hairs on my body stood on end. Then we all brought home from the hospital in trouble. Everyone was angry at Deepa. Rakesh didn't even want to talk to Deepa. He felt that Deepa had turned their noses at the whole society. Everyone was mad at Deepa. But Deepa's fault was not coming to my attention. I had only one thing in my mind. And that is about eating pies. That must have happened because of eating pies. But still mother was not willing to say anything about Pesh. He also thought that Deepa had done all this. But he did not tell anyone about his activities. That's when I called Rakesh to myself and said, I wanted to tell you something for a long time. But the opportunity was not. Then Rakesh said, what happened? I said that a few days ago whenever I tried to make pies, then mother did not let me make it and made it myself. And when your friends came home that day, mother made Pesh herself. It was kept in a separate dish. And now he makes pies every day. But no one is allowed to eat. And today when he left pies on the table and forgot, that's when Deepa came and ate that pie. And since then all this happened with him. But Rakesh started laughing after listening to me and said that this happens again after playing pies. Are you trying to cover Deepa's mistake? Rakesh was angry with me. No one wanted to understand me. Then I went to Deepa's room and asked her lovingly, Deepa, if any such incident happened then please tell me. I talked to everyone at home. That's when Deepa said crying, I have never done anything like that. Till date, I have not been in any relationship with anyone. I wanted to hear clearly from Deepa's mouth that he is right in his own place. But this time, I will explain how to family members. I thought about talking to the mother-in-law. That's when mother started saying, "You don't come to tell me anything because of Deepa. It's Deepa's mistake." Then I sat down holding my head and began to think that I do not know. That is what is happening. Deepa is wrong or not, I do not understand. Suddenly the doctor's call came. And he said, "The report of a girl named Deepa has changed in your house." I did not understand anything. I called mother and Rakesh too. I then turned the doctor around and asked again, "That's what this is all about?" Then the doctor said, "You should come to the hospital and find out everything." When we arrived at the hospital with the report, and I told the doctor, then the doctor said, "Actually, we have another woman here for checkup, whose name was Deepa. And his report goes to you. And this is your report. And there is nothing in it." By eating some stale rice, he got infected, because of which his head was spinning and he was vomiting. Your sister's report is normal. Now, as if in our lives, life returned. That actually Deepa is absolutely right. We reached home with Deepa's original report. And I told everything to Deepa and mother. Deepa hugged me and her eyes were watering. "You should have trusted me," he said. I said that I did nothing like that. But no one listened to me. I said then there is no such thing. But that's all that was going on in my head. How can it be that stale rice pies? Whenever we bring rations, we bring good rice. And then this flute rice pies. What is happening? That's when everyone was standing there. I asked my mother-in-law very hard. The mother is actually what is going on? Why don't you let the pie car eat? Actually, your father-in-law died because of pies. In fact, when we were making pies, then some of the rice that fell into him was a flute. It was due to the reckless attitude of the shopkeepers, for which he was infected. And so he died. And since that day I hate pies, since that day I make pies at home. But don't let anyone eat. Because I had a fear in my mind. That is if someone eats pies. And if something happens to him. That's why I always feed the dogs. So that your father's soul rest in peace. Since then I don't let you make pies. Because if you make pies and I feed your pies to the dog, you will feel bad. That's why I make pies and set them aside. And in the afternoon I feed them to the dog. This time the secret of pies came in front of me. After knowing this, I felt very strange. How can he be so blind? Father-in-law's death was written on the forehead that day. It could have happened in any way. And besides, not necessarily that since his death is for Pesh, everyone will stop eating Pesh. However, I did not tell my mother-in-law all these things. Because I didn't want to hurt his thoughts. I didn't want her to feel bad in any way. That's when Rakesh started saying, "Mother, you get all these ideas out of your mind." This time Rakesh was ashamed of one more thing, because of which he could not even look at Deepa. How many things did he tell Deepa without thinking? Somehow Rakesh apologized to Deepa. And they two brothers and sisters began to live again. I had a smile on my face. Because in the end everything is fine. The idea of eating pies was going on in my mind. It is now solved. And the blame that was put on Deepa has also been settled. Thanks a lot guys. If you like watching the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel to stay with us.